Claude Code just got a feature that honestly changes how I think about working with AI. You can now tell your agent to check on something every 10 minutes, every hour, every 30 minutes, whatever you need. No code, no cron, syntax, just plain English. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how it works, what the limitations are, how it compares to the scheduled tasks feature that just dropped at almost the same time, and I'll give you 5 specific use cases you can actually set up today. Let's get into it. But before I explain anything, first, we need to understand what the loop feature is. I'm going to type one sentence into Claude Code right now. At a specific time, remind me to check on my project. That's it. No settings, no config, no code. And what you'll see happen is Claude will use something called the cron create tool. You'll see it right here in the tool call, and it sets a timer. The session stays open. You don't touch it. And then right when that time hits, it fires. Hey, this is the reminder to check on your project. Just like that. Now here's where it gets more interesting. Instead of a one-off reminder, I can say every 10 minutes, check my Airtable to see if there's any new developments on the project. And it does the same thing, creates a cron. But now this runs every 10 minutes automatically for up to 3 days without any input from me. The agent is just working in the background on a loop. That's the feature. It's called Loop, and it ships with Claude Code natively. You don't install anything. If you're not seeing it, just update your Claude Code. Now you know what this feature is, but how does it actually work? Let me show you what's actually happening when you do this, because once you understand the mechanics, it makes a lot more sense. When you say every 10 minutes do this, Claude is using 3 built-in tools behind the scenes. The first one is cron create. That's how it schedules the job. You'll see it appear as a tool call in the chat. It shows you the interval, the prompt it'll fire on that interval, and whether it's recurring or not. The second tool is cron list. If you ever want to see all the loop jobs running in a session, you just ask. Say, what loops do you have running right now? And it'll call cron list and tell you. And the third tool is cron delete. If you want to cancel something, you say cancel that loop, and it fires cron delete with the job ID. Done. The important thing to understand is these are all per session. So if I have 2 tabs open, 2 separate Claude Code sessions, they cannot see each other's cron jobs. Each session has its own loops and they're completely isolated. So if I ask in session A what loops are running, it will only show the jobs created in session A. One more thing worth knowing. You don't always see the loop skill being invoked. Sometimes Claude just creates the cron directly without calling the loop skill explicitly. That's fine. All that matters is that the cron was created. The loop skill is more of a guide for how to set things up. Don't stress if you don't see it. But now let's take a look on reminders versus recurring loops. There are 2 ways to use this feature, and they're a bit different. So I want to make sure you're clear on both. The first is a one-time reminder. You say something like, at 4:30, remind me I have a call, or in 45 minutes, remind me to follow up on that email. Claude creates a cron. It fires at that time. It sends you the message, and then it deletes itself. It's just a timer. Super useful if you're deep in work and don't want to break focus to set a calendar alert. The second mode is a recurring loop. You say every 10 minutes, every hour, every 2 hours, whatever interval you need. Claude creates a cron with recurring equals true, and now it keeps firing on that interval until you cancel it or the session closes or the 3-day max kicks in. You can also loop skills. So if you have a skill called review PR or checks pipeline, you can literally say every 20 minutes, run my review PR skill. It will run the skill. And because it's all in the same session, the agent sees the full history of what happened before, which is really powerful for monitoring over time. The big thing to keep in mind with the recurring loop is context. Every time the loop fires, it adds to the session. If you're running something every 5 minutes that returns a big report, you're going to hit context limits fast. So be thoughtful about what you ask it to do and how often. Short check-ins work great. Big data dumps every 5 minutes will break things. But now let's talk about some limitations to know. 3 limitations I want to be straight with you about, because if you don't know these, you're going to set something up expecting it to work and then get frustrated when it doesn't. First, 3-day maximum. Every loop job has a hard 3-day expiry. It doesn't matter what interval you set. After 3 days, it auto-kills itself. This is by design. It's a safety mechanism so you don't have a bunch of forgotten loops draining tokens and context forever. If you need something to run longer than 3 days, you have 2 options. recreate the loop after it expires, or and this is the real signal. If you're thinking about running something for more than 3 days, that probably means it should be a scheduled task, not a loop. I'll get to that distinction in the next section. Second, session-based only. If you close the terminal, the tab, or the app, the loop is gone. It doesn't survive. There's no background process keeping it alive. So for anything truly long-running, this isn't the right tool. It's designed for help me now situations, not set it and forget it infrastructure. Third, no catch-up. Scheduled tasks, which I'll compare in a second, will catch up on missed runs if you were offline. This does not. If your session was closed at the time it was supposed to fire, that run just didn't happen. No backfill, no queue. It's a live system. So yes, there are real constraints here, but for the right use cases, none of these are actually a problem. Now you know the limitations. Let's talk about loop versus scheduled tasks. Okay, this is the section I really wanted to make because when Anthropic dropped loop, scheduled tasks had just dropped less than 12 hours earlier. So right out of the gate, people are asking, are these the same thing? And the answer is no. They're fundamentally different tools and they have completely different use cases. Here's the simplest way I can put it. Loop is for help me now. Scheduled tasks is for help me every day forever. Loop runs inside your active session. The session has to be open. It has a 3-day max. It has no persistence across sessions, and it has no catch-up. The agent sees everything that happened in the current session, which is actually great for monitoring because context builds up, but it's not meant to be infrastructure. Scheduled tasks are stored. They're long-lived. They have catch-up. If your machine was offline when a task was supposed to run, it'll run when you come back. They're designed for daily workflows, weekly reviews, things that should just happen on schedule as a matter of routine. And right now, they're only available in the Claude Code desktop app, though based on how fast Anthropic is shipping, that will probably change. So the question to ask yourself is simple. Do I need this for the next few hours or the next few days? Or do I need this to run every day from now on? If it's the first, use loop. If it's the second, use scheduled tasks. If you set a loop and find yourself recreating it every 3 days thinking this should just always run, that's your sign to move it to scheduled tasks. But now let's take a look at use cases plus how to set yours up. Let me give you 5 actual use cases that make sense for creators and operators. Things you can literally type into Claude Code today. Number 1, you're waiting on an urgent email. Don't keep checking your inbox manually. Type, every 5 minutes, check my email inbox and let me know if there's a message from person or subject. Now the agent is watching it and you can stay focused on actual work. Number 2, you're watching a deploy. You pushed something and you want to know when it's done or if it breaks. Type, every 30 minutes, check the deploy status and tell me if anything's wrong. You get a nudge when it matters instead of context switching every time you get anxious. Number 3, you've got a deadline at the end of the week and you need a 3-day sprint. Type, every 2 hours, check my project in ClickUp and give me a short update on what's changed. 3 days of check-ins without a single manual prompt. That's your head of delivery, basically. Number 4, you're testing something iteratively. Instead of running your test manually each time, set a loop to run it on an interval and surface any failures automatically. Especially good if you're building automations and want to catch regressions early. Number 5, you're watching logs or tracking changes in a system. Every hour, check this log file and let me know if there are any new errors. Basically, setting up a lightweight monitor in seconds. That's 5. Pick one that fits what you're working on right now and just type it in. Literally 1 sentence. If you want to go deeper and learn how to build actual automations around this, check-in agents, pipeline monitors, things like that. Also, and I'll give you all the files in the AI Agent Classroom. It's just getting wilder every week, so subscribe for more content and I'll see you tomorrow at lunch.